Thank you for tuning in to another episode of WGC Fits. Today we're going to be talking about the Callaway Iron line. We are joined by Cats and Center Strike.
Hello, everyone.
How we doing, brother?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. And you also did a little bit of hitting over here.
A little bit.
A little bit. There we go.
Not very good.
Well, I mean, it's better than some, you know.
It's not very good.
All right.
Okay.
So,
That's why I fit for a living.
well, that's what we do. Let's talk about the categories first. So let's define the categories. So we have like an elite players kind of category, right?
Okay.
Player's blade, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a player's cavity back kind of window, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've got a player's distance offering. And then we're going to get into game improvement. And game improvement, we're going to kind of have a side game improvement category.
Wild card.
Yeah, wild card. I like that.
Sure.
So we'll start from the top and work our way down. So
Okay.
we'll start off in kind of that elite player, right? And just
I'm
like
not him, by the way.
I don't see that guy. So.
Okay. All right.
So we'll start off with kind of who this category is, right?
All right.
This category I would define as anything you're going to see from like the tour level, PGA, LPGA, you know, your kind of better, you know, playing professionals out there, your elite amateurs, and then even getting into like the club world, right? The golf club, country club world. It can be a rather kind of wide area, especially because we're not necessarily talking about distance. We're not necessarily talking about anything. We're really talking about guys who can strike the ball. And that comes in many different speeds, as we know, right? Not only, you know, something where it's, you know, you have to swing it, you know, captain ball speeds. So,
Right.
Next we have what we can call player's cavity back, right? This is something that you're going to see kind of on, you know, a tour level to some extent, maybe more on like higher ends of golf bags. Definitely going to see a lot of like your playing professionals in this one. Definitely going to see this one probably even a little bit more so at the club level, I would say. Agree? Right? And we can even get into that almost kind of like technically speaking, like, you know, higher single digit, low double digit handicap guy, you know?
Sure.
Because again, strike is what's key here, right?
It's very consistent.
Handicap
be
is not
consistent.
there, exactly. From there, we'll have more of the player's distance window. And this is where we're going to see, we did get a jumper. This is where we're going to see an interesting kind of category, because I've always kind of defined this category as someone who still needs to be able to hit the middle of the club face, right? Someone who honestly still has a little bit of speed to give, because you know, you kind of need a little bit of speed to make these work, I would say. But for the player who's also trying to get a little bit more distance, right?
Right.
You know, I fit a lot of guys who are, you know, that, let's say, mid-level, maybe even sometimes a higher level handicap guy that needs some help with strike, but can really kind of get into a club, into this type of club, right? Player's distance, all over the country club world, right? All over the amateur golf world, let's say. And then from there, we go into game improvement. And with game improvement for Callaway, we also have a little bit of a, like you said, a wild card one, which is a game improvement club for a guy who's looking for something that's going to help him, you know, get the ball up in the air and get it out there a little bit more. Someone who swings a little bit slower, let's say, and just needs a little bit more help, really. Lighter weight and all that kind of stuff.
Guy or girl.
Guy or girl, yes. Golfer.
And any of these.
There we go.
Any
Correct.
of these could be both male and female.
So let's look at all of them real quick here.
Sure.
Right? Let's define now what clubs sit in what categories, and we can kind of see, right, kind of where they sit when we look at everything here. So that elite player, right? Callaway's offering, talking about Apex MB, Apex CB, right? Now, talk about those two clubs a little bit here. What do we got going on with Apex MB? Let's start there.
MB's, it's really beautiful. It's really a
Good
good
looking
golf
club.
It's a good golf club.
Feels good.
Feels great. Looks great. As far as I'm concerned, in the Callaway line, their best looking one. But Callaway didn't design the irons for me specifically.
Sure. See, I actually like the CB better, but I'm a CB guy.
Yeah.
You know, so it just goes to show. What do you like to look at? You know?
So MB is just smaller sweet spot, designed to be just distance control is its number one priority.
Distance control, trajectory control, right? And for that kind of player who, again, really not going to miss all that much, because that's the thing you can't do with these clubs is you really can't miss. You know, we look here, MB and CB, right? It's the blue and the green circle over here. Pretty much interchangeable, you know.
And that's kind of how Callaway made them. I mean, they made them to be interchangeable, so you could mix and match sets if you wanted to.
100%.
again, you could have the CBs in your long irons, the MBs in your short irons. So yeah, they made
They
them
both feel good.
interchangeable.
I think their lofts are very similar as well, if not the same, aren't they?
The lofts are identical. The looks are slightly different. The look of the blade is actually a little bit longer heel to toe than the CB, and a little bit more square looking, where the CB is a touch more rounded.
Yep, a little more rounded, especially in like the toe, I would say.
So yeah, I would say that's the biggest difference. I mean, is there more added forgiveness in the CB? There's
Just a little
there
bit.
is,
It's
but-
perimeter weighting, but I wouldn't argue it's a ton. You
Right.
know? If you're the guy who needs help, maybe we look at the next category, which is that player's cavity back window, right? And for Apex Pro, or for Callaway, I should say, that's going to be the Apex Pro. Let's talk a little bit about the Apex Pro.
Apex Pro really designed for. I mean, they're some of the best players in the world are using it as long irons. Champions Tour, LPGA Tour, certainly. Again, scratch level golfers, club level golfers, guys that probably need a little bit more help than what the MB/CB provide.
But want something that still looks the part, if you will,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
I think this club, honestly, is a good club. I think it's got a very wide range in terms of who it can fit for. It's just a good club. I think they actually did quite well with this club this year. I think it's, for the category, pretty solid. The next one we're going to talk about is player's distance. Now, this is always like a hot topic almost for golfers in general. For Callaway this year, it's the AI Smoke Iron, right?
I think we can categorize it as player distance / game improvement.
It probably branches in there. I would say in the player's distance category, this one's got a lot of help comparatively, you know.
But it's also kind of small looking for a game improvement iron. So
It is. I think it's very clean for a game improvement iron. I would say it's almost maybe the opposite in that category compared to some of the things, even in this line. So AI Smoke, great club, right? With a player's distance iron, right, you're going to get a player with different needs. How would you define those needs?
Usually this player is looking for a little bit more extra, or usually looking for some distance. Their buddies are hitting it a little bit farther, though. So yeah, I want to
Try to get a little pop.
I want to get a little bit more pop out of it. Obviously, I got a little pop out of one of those. 'Cause
Well, sometimes they get a little poppy.
They went a little further.
But again, that's kind of where it is, right? Because you still have to have some level of strike, but not anywhere near as much as, let's say, player's cavity back or the elite player. But again, the thing that kind of I always want to kind of make sure people understand about this category is if you get still pretty, like, let's say, bad with your miss, bad with your strike, it's probably not going to help you too much. It's actually potentially going to hurt you a little bit, right? You do have to have some
knuckle with
semblance.
no spin.
Exactly. You have to have some semblance of strike here. But that being said, right, if you got that and you're looking for a little bit of pop and can get it up in the air, it's a good club, you know? So now we talk about kind of max fast and HL for Callaway. So the HL is going to be their kind of game improvement one, right? Max fast is kind of that game improvement meets super lightweight, you know?
Correct.
Super lightweight, and I think the loft is potentially a touch weaker in that one.
It's
too,
1 degree
right?
weaker
Yeah, that's what I
than
thought.
the high launch.
So talk
And a little
about
lighter head.
I was going to talk about the HL versus the Max Fast maybe to start, and then we compare the type of player.
So Max Fast is really designed to be just a lighter package. I mean, it's designed to be, I don't know the specific gram weight wise, but it's light. It's designed to be light.
I know
And
it's got a lighter grip. I know it's got a lighter shaft, lighter head
does.
weight, lighter everything.
really
I actually quite like that club because in the player who needs that club, here's what I like about it, is that club comes in specifically for Callaway at a price point that I don't think the competitors can touch.
correct.
That's why I like that club.
It's a club that Callaway's launched in the last couple iterations, but they've launched it maybe a little late.
Yes.
And so they've kind of learned from that. So they've launched a little late and price point's been a little higher. This time it's actually the same price point as High Launch and AI Smoke, and it's launched at the same time too. So it's
Home run.
It's more of a home run. Yeah.
Now, HL, right? Game improvement iron, and basically the guy who's just looking for some help out there, wants to go out, enjoy golf, play with his friends, have a touch competitive in there.
Yes.
Doesn't necessarily get a chance to practice a ton.
Right.
You know, job, you know, husband, wife, that kind of stuff. Just the golfer who wants a little bit of help and wants to have fun, right?
Right.
And I would say that in that category, it does quite well. You know, it's definitely something that gets up in the air for players. I actually think it has a decent look to it too, compared to some of the ones out there.
It does.
It's not the biggest and bulkiest. Let's
It's
say
a little smaller than some of the other competitors
in the category. So I think it's pretty good. I personally think that there are probably some things that we can add in here that we're not adding because they're getting replaced here momentarily, let's say.
Correct.
So again, if there seems like there's some holes, there probably are, right? But that's why we tune in, because as soon as those launch, we're gonna get another video out for you guys about that, and we'll see what else is coming. But
coming soon.
there is new stuff coming. Keep your eyes out. It's going to be pretty cool. For starter, or for now, I guess that is the Callaway Iron lineup. Any last things you want to kind of add on there?
No, just get out to your local fitter and try them out.
Come see us. We'll get you set up. So thank you guys for watching another video. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye.